Tonight on News 5 Live, a sixth form student perishes in a road traffic accident in Corozal. As many as 11 persons received various degrees of injuries during the deadly mishap. The National Emergency Management Organization conducts a preliminary damage assessment of the floods that are affecting western Belize. And the Public Service Union demands the appointment of a new commissioner amid complaints from retired members. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen Broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen Broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Belize Commercial Laundry and Linens is a new, automated, state-of-the-art and safety-engineered commercial laundry facility in Belize, offering a full array of top-quality laundry and linen services for Belize's healthcare and commercial sectors countrywide, including hotels, resorts, and restaurants. For more information on how we can serve you, contact us at telephone 227-3396 or info@belizelaundry.com.
Say hello to DigiTV. Step into the world of digital entertainment. DigiTV gives you access to 100+ channels on your TV or your mobile device at unbeatable prices. Take your shows with you wherever you go. It's a new level of freedom. Enjoy your favorite entertainment, sports, family, Latin, and local channels. No more fighting for the TV remote. You can access whenever you want from 2 devices at the same time. DigiTV is for everyone. And with the fastest fiber and mobile networks in the country, you are guaranteed to have the best experience ever. There's no installation required. Sign up for the Max package for only $40 monthly and get the first 2 months for just $30. For a limited time, get 50% off a Fire Stick when you sign up. Download the DigiTV app from the Android or Apple stores. Just WhatsApp us at 608-8888 to sign up. It's that easy. Watch, experience, enjoy DigiTV today.
V-Bucks by Benny's, Belize's newest multi-brand rewards program. To access V-Bucks, download the mobile app or access the website portal at vbucks.bz and set up your account. If you already have a Benny's account, chances are you already have V-Bucks. Don't let them go to waste. To earn V-Bucks, make a purchase at any Benny's location or at any of these Benny's entities, namely Island Freight Forwarders, Best Manufacturing, Benquip, and B-Mart. Once V-Bucks are earned, reward yourself. Use V-Bucks to buy items or exchange for cash. You can also double, triple, or even quadruple your V-Bucks on promotional days. It is simple. Purchase, earn, redeem. Loyalty is always rewarding with V-Bucks. Brought to you by Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Life can be tough.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, October 12th. I am Sabrina Daly. A fatal road traffic accident on the Philip Golson Highway has left a sixth form student dead and as many as 11 persons with multiple degrees of injuries. According to police, 21-year-old Jorge Vargas was traveling in a taxi van along with 6 other passengers when the vehicle collided head-on into a Toyota Land Cruiser ambulance in Ranchito Village. Reports are that the ambulance was being driven by 33-year-old Luis Canelo. 2 female nurses, a female minor, and her mother were also inside the ambulance at the time. According to police, the ambulance was en route to the Northern Regional Hospital when it attempted to overtake a truck. In the process of doing so, the ambulance collided into the taxi van, which was headed in the opposite direction. Vargas reportedly died upon impact. News 5's Paul Lopez traveled north today. He filed the following report.
A 21-year-old student from Corozal Town lost his life in a tragic road traffic accident on the Philip Golson Highway. On Tuesday evening, Jorge Vargas was among a group of students traveling in a taxi van from San Roman Village to Corozal Town when tragedy struck in Ranchito Village. The taxi they were in collided head-on into an ambulance that was traveling in the opposite direction. At the time, Jorge and 3 other passengers in the van were heading home from classes at Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College. Among the first persons to arrive at the scene of the accident was Hugo Gonzalez, the dean of the 6th form.
I was at home already, and a teacher notified me that she was on the scene of the accident. That would be Miss Melissa Alfaro, my IT teacher. And when she notified me, I immediately got up and I drove to the scene of the accident. When I got there, some of the students had already been transported to the Corozal Community Hospital. Then I saw the body of Jorge Vargas was still on the scene of the accident.
Jorge Vargas died on the spot. Today, an altar was erected inside the school's cafeteria in memory of the business student. His colleagues wore all black to school. Friends of Jorge penned emotional farewell notes inside the pages of a book that was placed beside the altar. One student wrote, "To my dear friend Jorge, may you rest in peace. You are in a better place today." Another student, "I didn't get to tell you how I felt about you. I always said tomorrow and tomorrow, but look what happened yesterday. It is very hard losing you. I feel like I can't breathe."
When we got here this morning, a lot of the students were very sad. Some came to offer their condolences. Teachers are going through a difficult time trying to accept the fact that he is no longer with us. In the history of our school, this is the second student we have lost for the 15 years that we have been in operation.
And while the school is finding it hard to come to terms with the loss, Vargas's immediate family has been overtaken with grief since they received the word of the tragedy. His mother was too distraught to give an interview. Rafael Riverol, Jorge Vargas's cousin, spoke with us on the family's behalf.
Yesterday evening, the mother, well, as she would always routinely do, she would pick him up at a certain spot in town. And so yesterday she did receive the call from Jorge, affectionately known as Georgie for us. He did call his mom and said that he was moving from school and he would be picked up at by lights at 3:30 p.m. But unfortunately that call wasn't made. No? So the family at that moment, when they heard about an accident, they started call. Well, we're quite a supportive and joint family, so everybody started calling, and we know that we have him traveling daily. That's for school. So they didn't know, the parents. Well, his father was working as well, and he was coming back from Orange Rock. So we were the first ones to know, and then we didn't want for them to know until they were at home, no? So, but unfortunately that didn't happen. They found out before the time, and so they were informed that yes, indeed, it was Georgie that was the one who died at the scene. No?
Riverol described her as a fun and jovial individual. He was nearing the end of his final year of the studies in the school's business entrepreneurship program. Jorge was also a football player and an active member of his community.
Right now, I think it's more heartbreaking to find out that he did achieve his 3-point honor roll, and now he did receive some awards just days before yesterday. Centro
Escolar Mexico JC is involved in planning the funeral. The school has also extended its assistance to the families of all the students involved in the tragic accident.
We're talking about 3 other students currently at the Corozal Community Hospital. We have Anthony Sib, who is from Pachacan Village. He's being treated there. Then we have, I was made to understand that Armando Pat was transported this morning from the Corozal Community Hospital and is now being treated at the Northern Regional Hospital. The other student is Alia Marroquin, and I spoke to her. She was stable, but she had suffered multiple fractures and she had an abrasion on her head.
In honor of the hard work that Vargas dedicated in his schooling up until the time of his passing, an honorary degree will be awarded to his family.
Jorge was about to graduate in December. And so I was having a conversation with my chairman earlier, and the school does intend on having a program tribute to his life, and we are going to issue an honorary associate degree to the parents.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The driver of the ambulance and the 2 female nurses received varying degrees of injuries. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has offered its condolences to the family and friends of Jorge Vargas and to all those affected by the tragedy. A release from the ministry notes that it is fully cooperating with the police in the investigation in order to determine the cause of the accident. The family of Alia Marroquin, one of the surviving students in Tuesday evening's tragic accident on the Philip Gosen Highway, is seeking answers from the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital as to why the Corozal resident was placed on a waiting list. According to one spokesperson for the family who chose to remain anonymous for fear of political victimization, Marroquin was placed on a 1-month waiting list at the hospital. But the student's family says she is in need of urgent surgery due to the severity of her injuries. They are questioning if their political affiliations have anything to do with the hospital's decision.
Ali is a student in Escuela Mexico. She normally her transportation is due to a taxi or a bus. She and her boyfriend were traveling from school after their hours, and they were coming back home. How the accident happened, to be quite honest with you, I'm not too clear about it. We just received a call that she actually called, said that she was in a car accident with her boyfriend. So of course the family all rushed there to see it. They transferred her to Corozal. Right there they told us that, you know, she was in a critical situation. She was continuously bleeding through her nose. She had some injuries to her face, as well as a broken hip, leg, and arm. Likewise with her boyfriend, he had been with a broken leg and was cut on his head. So both of them needed surgery, emergency surgery. But the doctor who was there inspecting it stated that due to the complications to her hip and her leg, he will not be able to do the surgery at Orange Walk. Hence the reason she would need a specialist who is located in Belize City and who would do the surgery for her. So they transported the persons who needed to be, because they were more critical than her. So we waited until hours of the night until she was later on transported to Belize. When she reached Belize, they told her that they would just give her morphine for the pain. They bandaged her hand, her leg, and they told her that they will not be doing any surgery and that she would need to be on a waiting list, and this surgery could potentially take place until in a month's time. Now, she's a 20-year-old with her whole life there. What if any complications happen? Infections could happen. She has a broken leg, a broken hand, and all you could do is just bandage it? We need reasons as to why she's on a waiting list. Is this because we are politically affiliated to the UDP? Is it because we're well known as UDP that you are putting her on a waiting list? Or is it because the hospital does not have the medical attention to assist her due to the complication that it has?
Over the extended weekend, 20-year-old Herson Cardova was knocked down in a San Lazaro village in a hit-and-run accident involving a police officer who was fleeing from a traffic checkpoint in Orange Walk District. The officer, who is being placed on interdiction, is believed to have committed a traffic offense prior to knocking down Cardova. Assistant Superintendent of Police Fitzroy Yearwood provides additional details on the incident.
He was detained from his home in San Lazaro village. A few minutes after doing so, the investigators also found out that he ran a checkpoint that was set up by transport officers prior to knocking one Jerson Cardova off a motorbike while trying to escape, while escaping from the traffic checkpoint. Police then went to his home where they detained him. They took the vehicle that he was using into the station to be processed, of course. And as it is, he will be arraigned this morning in Orange Walk Magistrate Court. But I know that the letter for his interdiction is being processed as we speak. I know that he didn't give any blood and urine sample, and he will be charged for that also. But I know that he was not cooperating at the time. But we managed to detain him. I said San Lazaro village. It's August Pine Ridge village where he lives. The accident happened in San Lazaro village where he knocked the 20-year-old Jerson Cardova off a motorbike. Mr. Cardova is still receiving treatment. His condition has not been upgraded from stable. It's still stable, I must say. But we know that medical officers said that they will keep him for observation.
The vehicular checkpoint near the entrance to Hattieville has been done away with following a directive from Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. The decision was taken on to the heels of recent allegations that officers assigned to the post had been extorting motorists. Last week, 2 persons came forward accusing an officer of shaking them down for money. In one instance, it is alleged that the policeman squeezed $25 from a driver who pulled up to the checkpoint. While that officer is facing disciplinary action, the instruction from the top cop has been to call off-the-spot checking of vehicles in that location. On Tuesday, Compal Williams responded to questions fielded by reporters in respect of the latest incident.
It's an embarrassment, and on that particular day, there were 2 complaints of extortion at the checkpoint. Unfortunately, the other person chose not to give a report and just gave the information in terms of what transpired with him, but he was relieved of $25 at the checkpoint by the same police officer, because when he saw the policeman picture on the news, he messaged me and said that was the same officer that extorted me as well. I ordered that the checkpoint at Hattieville be taken down for the simple fact that we are getting too much complaint of extortion from that checkpoint. While we want to do road policing, it must not be at the expense of the Belizean people being shaken down by police officers at checkpoint. And so my directive this morning was that we'll take down the Hattieville checkpoint and we'll do more highway patrols, but not focused on traffic violations. We want the highway patrols to be more of an enforcement unit dealing with human trafficking, firearm trafficking, drug trafficking, and human smuggling. So we're looking more at road policing as opposed to having these checkpoints where officers are shaking down the good people of this country.
Coming up, NEMO conducts an aerial assessment of the flood-affected areas of the country and preparations for flood waters in Belize District. Details when we return.
As the world's weather and climate are changing, so too must the energy sector's approach to ensuring a more resilient power system. With funds provided by the Global Environment Facility's Special Climate Change Fund and the World Bank acting as the executing agency, BEL, with support from the Government of Belize and the National Meteorological Services, is able to lead the implementation of special projects under the country's Energy Resilience for Climate Adaptation Project, ERCAP.
The ERCAP includes a number of sub-projects, such as upgrading of BEL's existing stations, construction of new stations, installation of weather stations across Belize, installation of lightning detection system, a number of consultancy service, and a number of other projects that will help to enhance Belize's energy sector against the effects of climate change. And we understand that these project activities may affect different communities or different stakeholders in different ways. And thus, we have established a grievance redress mechanism. The grievance redress mechanism is really a way for concerned communities, stakeholders, or persons to be able to lodge their concerns.
To report a concern, call our toll-free number at 0800 BEL CARE or 0800 235 2273, or visit our website at www.bel.com.bz and complete the online grievance redress mechanism form. Or you can also choose to download, print, and complete at your own convenience. Printed forms can be delivered to the nearest BEL office.
All grievances received are highly confidential and managed solely by BEL.
The Government of Belize, World Bank, and Belize Electricity Limited, partnering to reinforce the national power grid against the effects of weather and climate change.
Welcome to Design Depot. All in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome,
Oran Windows.
welcome,
Tiles from around the world.
welcome.
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coating. Visit us today at mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at
3768. Design Depot. All in one place.
Start your engines now for the National MSME Roadshow, geared towards building the resilience of MSMEs and developing a national MSME directory. Sign up for this 3-day event filled with intensive boot camps, presentations, MSME support and formalization clinics, pop-up shops, and more to help you develop and promote your business. The National MSME Roadshow will be in Corozal starting August 24th, Orangewood August 31st, Belize City September 7th, Punta Gorda September 14th, Key Cocker September 22nd, Belmopan September 28th, San Ignacio and San Helena on October 5th, Dangriga October 12th, Placencia October 19th, and closes in San Pedro from October 26th. Learn more and sign up for the National MSME Roadshow by visiting the Beltrade Facebook page or call or WhatsApp us at 613-5139. And let's get your business on the road.
My name is Dr. Marcelo Coy, and I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist at Belize Medical Associates. Pregnant women are at risk of getting infected with the COVID-19 virus and are at higher risk to develop severe complications and illnesses. The COVID-19 vaccine is safe to use during pregnancy. All pregnant women should get vaccinated to protect themselves and their newborn. Visit any vaccination site and get vaccinated.
Today, the Ministry of Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management joined a team from the National Emergency Management Organization on a flyover to observe the areas that are currently affected by severe flooding. The team included personnel from the Hydrology Unit, the Engineering Department, and the Ministries of Infrastructure Development and Housing and Agriculture. The focus was the Cayo District, and as it currently stands, the Mopan and Macal rivers are still overflowing and flood waters are flowing down to the Belize District. Later in the newscast, we will share with you the preparations being made in anticipation of that eventuality. But first, we hear from Minister Orlando Habet, who says that an aerial assessment indicates that there is a lot of devastation.
We flew over the area where Santander has planted sugarcane. Some sugarcane was affected. The waters have spread out to possibly as much as they would have gone on the flat areas. And what the hydrology department is telling us that when it bursts over its seams and spreads out, then it starts rising, and that's when you start to see a lot of the water coming up. Certainly a lot of devastation all over the productive sector for agriculture, especially in the Spanish Lookout area. We saw fields that were of corn that were underwater, some that water had passed and the corn is lying down. I think also some beans. We went over an area where you could have seen cattle that were all huddled together because water had formed sort of an island, and so the cattle moved up to the highest area. You could have seen certainly that some animals have died because you could have seen the crows now perching and trying to look for the remains. But what was also interesting was how the river burst open and formed new avenues of where to go. And so what we were told from the hydrology unit and the engineering department is that what happens is that it depends on where most of the water falls, and so each flooding event is different from the other. So whilst we might not have had the rise in the river as much as it happened during Eta and Iota, this one has some devastation that also didn't occur with that flooding event because of where the water fell. And apparently a lot of the water fell in the productive sector area, apart from what was coming up from upriver where in the Macal and Mopan area. So when we went also through the Macal part of the river, we saw some of the damages. Of course, what has now subsided in San Ignacio and in the area of Santa Elena, the bridges that are still underwater. In Santa Familia area, the Hammock Bridge is still underwater, so is the one in Cala Creek. And also what we could have seen was that some of the damages that occurred with some of the houses that are in the area.
As of now, it is difficult to assess the financial damages. When the water subsides, a better assessment of the damages can be carried out. The flyover also took the team into the Mountain Pine Ridge area where the dams are spilling. Minister Orlando Habet says that as a country we must learn from natural events like these and adapt.
Some of the work that we have done right now is upriver, trying to improve the early warning systems. A lot more work, a lot more equipment has to be done and put into place. But also what it is telling us, and for some of the advisory that we already did, is that this water will take another 2 or 3 days to go flow down and eventually reach into the Belize River Valley area, where the water will spread out, and there is certainly going to be some flooding event in these areas. And so supporting the advisories, we're asking those who live near the rivers and near the waterways to move out, take out their livestock if possible, their homes to be cleaned out as much as possible, so that the damages are less when you have early warning and you can move out in time. But this water is going to go in. And as the river narrows and it forms areas where it sort of dams because it can't go forward, then the water starts backing up and it spreads out as wide as possible.
News 5's Dwayne Moody took a trip to the Belize River Valley area where the Belize River is already swelling and the banks being taken in by the rising water level. The entrance to Gracie Rock Village off the George Price Highway is under about a foot of water and continues to rise. This morning, the Belize District NEMO Committee met at its center in Ladyville to plan for the eventuality. Here's a report.
Floodwater from the west has been making its way down to Belize District. Several access roads in Gracie Rock Village are inundated, and along the Belize River Valley area, the water level of the river is rising and fast. The full impact is expected tonight and into Thursday.
The reports I've gotten since 7:30 a.m. this morning is that the rivers, for instance, in the Willows Bank Village, Doublehead Cabbage, Burl Boom, especially in Willows Bank Village, that they have surpassed what they call their top gallon marks. So we have seen the rivers start spilling their banks, and that is because we are still anticipating a larger body of water to come down this way, you know. So we are also monitoring Crooked Tree, because we know the lagoon normally the water levels comes up, and then the causeway get inundated, and then you have some folks who live in the low-lying areas adjacent to the lagoon and so on. So we are keeping a close eye on Crooked Tree as well.
Today, the NEMA Committee for Belize District met in Ladyville in preparation for this eventuality.
We just held our EOC meeting, or Emergency Operations Committee meeting. We had the Minister, the Deputy Chair of Belize Rural North, NEMO, Minister Marconi Leal chaired the meeting, and we had the different respective committee chairs present as well. Today our meeting was basically to just touch base and cross our T's and dots our I's in regards to the impending floodwaters that we are expecting to come from out west of the country. No?
NEMA Coordinator for Belize Rural North, Lionel Smith, says that the plan will include collaboration among all relevant authorities, as well as persons on the ground, in an effort to prevent any loss of life and minimize damage to property.
All the operations for Belize Rural office will happen right from this building behind me. So we do have our community volunteers in each village, and these people are trained as well if we need to call upon them to represent at any given moment.
Smith says residents must not panic at this time, but remain alert.
There's no need for panic at this moment. Like I said, we are still anticipating the water body to come down our way. It might be quite a significant amount of water, but at this moment in time, there is no shelters that is activated in the Belize rural. And we do have people on standby if that need so arise.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
New controlled prices for butane came into effect today. A release issued by the Supplies Control Unit in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise indicates that the change reflects the sale by wholesale volume and retail sale by volume in urban as well as rural parts of the country. In all 6 districts, the retail cost per gallon of LPG is $5.96 or $1.36 per pound. The cost per gallon for wholesale LPG is $4.26. After the break, there's much more news, but first, here's the weather forecast from the Belize Met Service.
Good evening, Belize. Welcome to the weather report and forecast for tonight, Wednesday, October 12th. I am Ronald Gordon from the National Meteorological Service. Weather conditions continue to be mainly fair across the country today in the wake of Julia that affected the country over the weekend. Latest radar imagery shows mainly fair conditions with isolated showers here or there, with the heaviest activity concentrated over the Maya Mountains. So what can we expect tonight? Conditions will continue mainly fair, with partly cloudy skies. Isolated showers can be expected mostly along coastal parts of the country, including your Corozal, San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, with possibility of isolated thunderstorms down south in Punta Gorda. In terms of our temperatures, if you're in Belmopan, that will be about 75 Fahrenheit early in the morning, 74 out west in San Ignacio, and also up north in Orange Walk. For those of you along coastal parts of the country, such as San Pedro, it will be about 82, Belize City as well, 81 in Dangriga, to a cool 76 Fahrenheit down south in Punta Gorda. In terms of our weather conditions for tomorrow, we expect mostly sunny skies with a few cloudy spells, along with isolated showers developing mostly along coastal parts of the country. Those temperatures tomorrow will peak to about 92 Fahrenheit out west in Belmopan, 93 in San Ignacio, and also up north in Orange Walk. If you're along coastal parts of the country, your highs will be about 87 in San Pedro, 88 in Belize City, to about 86 down south in Punta Gorda. Looking forward to the next 4 days, we expect conditions to remain mainly fair during the daytime with isolated showers, with slightly more affecting southern parts of the country during the night. A similar pattern can be expected on Friday and Saturday, with showers increasing on Sunday. In terms of our tropics, conditions remain fairly quiet across most of the Caribbean Sea and out into the Atlantic. However, focusing in the Gulf of Mexico, we have Tropical Storm Carl that developed from the remnants of Julia. The system is currently moving just a bit to the north very slowly, and then it's expected to recurve and move southward into Mexico, where after landfall, it is expected to dissipate rapidly. The system will not have a significant impact on the country. However, residents along rivers, especially down south and over central parts of the country, are advised to be on the lookout for the possibility of floodwaters coming down. In terms of our astronomical conditions and our marine conditions, we're looking at winds of 10 to 20 knots out of the east and southeast tonight, decreasing to about 5 to 15 knots tomorrow and tomorrow night. Waves will be about 2 to 4 feet, decreasing to 1 to 3 feet tomorrow night, with light chop sea conditions becoming slight. In terms of the astronomical conditions, there will be a low tide at 6:31 tomorrow morning, a high at 12:31 tomorrow afternoon, and a low at 5:51 tomorrow evening, and a high at 11:41 tomorrow night. Sunrise will be at 5:45 tomorrow morning, and the sun will set at 5:32 tomorrow evening. The moon will rise at 5 minutes after 9 in the morning and set at 8:25 tomorrow night. And that's it from the National Meteorological Service. Join us again on Friday for another weather report and forecast. Have a pleasant and enjoyable evening.
My lights, yeah.
go to my lights, go to my lights. You gotta go to my lights, yeah. I wanna shine, 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 shine. I hit my lights cause that's my plan, 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 plan. My lights have your favorite brand, 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 brand. Just come with nothing in your hands, 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 hands. My lights, and it goes on and on and on. It goes on and on and on, yeah. I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. My lights, I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. We going to the store, oh we gon' do right, we gon' light up life, only with my light. We going to the store, oh we gon' do right, we gon' light up life, only with my light.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen Broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen Broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
The Public Service Union has come out strongly against the Office of the Prime Minister for failing to appoint a new chairman, as well as members of the Public Services Commission. In a statement issued by the labor organization, its offices have been flooded with phone calls from retired public officers who have exhausted their salary advance considerations from the Treasury Department and are unable to receive their retirement benefits from the government of Belize, as well as public officers who are waiting to be appointed or confirmed, and those who have pending disciplinary matters before the Commission. The release from the PSU continues to criticize Prime Minister John Briceño for the inordinate delay replacing previous commissioners since June. The effect of the suspension is that retirees are unable to meet mortgage payments and other financial commitments. The trade union goes on to recommend Alfredo Cruz as chairman of the Public Services Commission to focus primarily on matters pertaining to retirement benefits. The internal row within the United Democratic Party continues to see members of the opposition stooping to their lowest. On Monday, a clip from a purported political ad was posted on Facebook. The brief video extracts shows Collett area representative Patrick Fauber in what appears to be another physical altercation with a woman in the presence of a child. The confrontation is being used as an advertisement by Fauber's intra-party opponents and contains a soundbite from Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, who spoke against domestic violence in a previous interview. Compal Williams has since come forward to draw distance between himself and what has been taking place within the embattled political party.
First and foremost, I am extremely disappointed in the producers of that ad. The comments or the voice in the ad is certainly mine, and that was in respect to an interview I had give a couple months ago, speaking generally about domestic violence, and I still maintain my position. I vehemently oppose domestic violence, and I would never support a person who stands for domestic violence, because I do believe that we must learn to respect and cherish our women and children. I would want to think that the ad was produced by someone within the UDP as a part of the UDP ongoing battle among themselves. And I want it to be known clear that I have nothing to do with the ad, and I disassociate myself from it completely, for I have not authorized anybody to use my voice in order for them to achieve their own political objective. While I oppose certain things that Mr. Fauber had done, or allegedly done in the past, I would never resort to creating such an ad.
The Department of Transport, in collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank, is seeking to modernize the country's public transportation system. Currently, the program is in its information dissemination phase. Members of the technical support team made an appearance on Open Your Eyes this morning to detail the phased approach to the modernization undertaking.
Another empirical study shows that more than 98% of the buses fleet do not meet all safety requirements as would be necessary. So we want to pin it there, and that's the transition point to what the ministry is saying. Look, we need safer buses on the roads, and we need safer transportation systems. As such, we also need comfort in some degree. And in order to have this comfort, we're looking at a four-tiered approach. We're looking at a premier service that really would be, for instance, from Orange Walk in the morning at 6 o'clock. You have 5 runs. Let's say one of those runs would be a premier service, a higher quality caliber of bus. Second to that, and that might see an increase in fare, but those are for people like yourselves who can afford a little more, right? The finer things in life. Second to that would be Economy 1. Now, the Economy 1 is the regular it's the express bus that we currently have. However, that will not see an increase in fare as is projected currently, as you can see on the screen. But what it does allow is for us to increase the quality of service in terms of the comfort, in terms of the efficiency, in terms of the overall aesthetics and feel of it. Second to that, well, third rather, is the Economy 2. What Economy 2 is going to see is the regular bus, or the current regular bus. However, they will move a transition away from the general school buses to more either coach type buses or the commercial Bluebird type buses. It may look the same, but really the comfort is really a lot different, because if you have a little bit longer feet, you don't necessarily want to be squinged all the time. And lastly is the regular runs, or the current village runs.
I like the 3 regular, regular.
The
top tier system.
It's top tier. The village runs, it was the general the runs, but we're not seeing any much change there, except the fact that we need to ensure that the buses are safe.
To Trudy Joseph, the Administration and Procurement Officer, the modernization program will be rolled out in phases. She noted that these significant changes to the transportation system will be realized in 2024.
Want to do a phased approach, and so we're grateful to the operators that have already started to make some modernization and changes. You may have seen some newer buses that are actually on the road. The whole idea is for us to get to where it is that we need to go, but first to understand that it actually requires high capital. So ideally, what we're doing from the operator standpoint, we are providing them with additional information. If it is that you have an older fleet, you have higher maintenance costs. And so with a newer fleet, as we know, even with our private vehicles, the Lee bucket truck, at the end of the day will cost us a little bit more, may break down on the road.
That's totally
Something
true.
newer, so it's from that perspective. And so what we're doing now, we're talking about more information, and then expectation is that come January 2023, we will see an increase in the modernization of the buses that it is that you're currently seeing on the road. Not just newer buses, but we're looking also at the safety aspect. And that will then extend all the way up to 2024, end of 2024. So operators ideally have 2 years in order for them to get to where it is that the project information is stating that you need to get to, so you can be sustainable, one, but also that there's safety for the commuters. And then on the other side, it also has to do with scheduling, which means reliability. It means I know that my bus will be coming in 15 minutes. I know if I'm not able to catch this bus, there's another one that will be coming a few minutes later, or I know another bus will be sent.
When we return, BATSUB installs new bridge in Lords Bank Village for riverine training.
My name is Leah Espinal. I am in Standard 6 and I attend Saddle Rock Christian Academy. Drivers should obey all safety rules. It doesn't matter if in a driver's opinion the rules are good, bad, fair or unfair. They should be followed and respected. If we don't follow them, we are not only putting ourselves at risk, but other innocent people as well. Precious lives can be preserved on the road by being responsible, being alert, buckling up, and obeying safety rules.
The monies will be used to fix classroom buildings, to paint the buildings as well in and outside of the classrooms.
I would like to thank BEL for reminding us that we need to learn about road safety and that everyone's life counts.
Life can be tough when a loved one suddenly departs. Dependents of the deceased are sometimes left alone to pick up the pieces and may be stranded financially. Fortunately, the Social Security Board provides survivor's benefit to ease the burden. Survivor's benefit is paid to a widow or widower, children under 18 years, or up to 21 years if attending school, or dependent parents. A survivor's benefit can be either a grant or a pension. Want to know more about survivor's benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
¿Reúnes los requisitos para la amnistía 2022? Esta es tu oportunidad de aplicar. En el sitio web www.immigration.gov.bz encontrará una lista completa de todos los documentos necesarios para la amnistía según los criterios para los que eres elegible. Asegúrese de reunir todos los documentos generales y de respaldos necesarios y las traducciones necesarias. Haz tu cita en línea con cualquiera de nuestros centros de registro a nivel nacional. Ahí presentarás tus documentos y completarás las entrevistas requeridas. Después, se te entregará un recibo de aceptación. Mientras esperas una decisión sobre tu solicitud, puedes seguirlo en línea y saber cuándo será el pago en la oficina de tesorería del gobierno más cercana. Una vez completa, recibirás tu tarjeta de residencia permanente que muestra tu estado legal en Belice. Obtenga más información sobre la amnistía 2022 y cómo presentar tu solicitud en línea en www.immigration.gov.bz. Prepárate, el plazo de inscripción será del 2 de agosto al 30 de noviembre de 2022. Amnistía de Belice 2022. Continuemos construyendo Belice juntos.
Everything must come to an end. A much-needed vacation, or even a good book. What about the world? How will it end? Should we be worried about the end? Frightened even? What does the Bible actually say about the end? Tune in right here as we discuss the end.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Today in the village of Lord's Bank, the British Army Training Support Unit, BATSUB, officially inaugurated a bridge in the community that provides access to the Belize River. The project, which is valued at $12,000 saw a troop of engineers who recently arrived in the country demolish an unserviceable small bridge in the Lord's Bank area and replace it with a new one. This afternoon, a brief handing over ceremony was held. The initiative is part of BATSUB and the BDF's joint community projects.
The existing bridge was pretty derelict and you couldn't transit on foot or on vehicle. So we knew that the BDF and BATSUB, as well as the local community, wanted to get access to the river on the other side from a military perspective, using it for amphibious training, and then also for the local community just to get access onto the river. So this is a perfect example, an opportunity for us to build a non-equipment bridge. So typically we would use equipment bridging, so dropping it off the front of a tank, or one that already comes preloaded in sections, such as an MGB, medium girder bridge. Whereas actually we don't regularly get to practice designing our own bridge and putting it in. So this was a fantastic opportunity to benefit us as a construction force, BATSUB, the BDF and the local community. This took us 8 days to strip it out and then put it in. It took slightly longer because when we stripped out the bridge, the concrete abutments had perished because it had been here for around 35 years. So we then built the formwork, poured some concrete, that had to cure for a couple of days over the weekend, and then we could lay down the foundations, put in the I-beams and then the wearing surface over the top.
The cost of the project?
So that cost £6,000 sterling, okay, so around $12,000 to put that in.
The bridge will provide access to an area for riverine and jungle exercises by both military forces.
We had come at the back here, along with our British partners, to look at a way that we could bridge the gap between riverine training all the way in the Mountain Pine Ridge area versus riverine training in the river here. We did an environmental impact assessment on the river. We did a lot of our homework alongside the guys from the Air Wing to look at what they had to offer just behind the base there. And we found out that this area, behind the Lord's Bank area, would work for us twofolds. While this is a private area, we had engaged the owner of the area and asked if it was that we would want to access this area, that we would be able to, should we replace the bridge, clear the road a bit, and afford our forces, both the British forces and Belize Defence Force, the opportunity to exercise our troops in this area, launch our boats, and that sort of thing. That was agreed to, and of course all the paperwork was drafted for us to get the area prepared. But it never came to fruition because of the pandemic. And so I was happy to hear that the engineers came in and they started on the bridge, and so I rushed out here yesterday and visited with them, and to my surprise these guys are almost finished. So at completion we're going to clear up the area a bit. We're going to ensure there's vehicular traffic, our access to the area, and then the customary jungle package that we do for our Belize Defence Force troops twice a year. We'll be able to have access to this area, use the area, and use way less logistics than would be consumed if we were using the Mountain Pine Ridge area.
Just ahead, Belize Judiciary receives donation for backlog reduction program.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Rolling Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times. and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with cervical 4A, stage 4A cancer. First, it was a size of a grapefruit. That's what the doctor told me. The kidney got enlarged. I couldn't do any chemotherapy because of the kidney. So I had to do only radiation. And I did my first session of 25. And then when I finished with the 25 sessions, I went back, she checked it, and she saw 4 centimeters. And I went back for the next 10 days. And after that, when she checked it again, she said, oh, it's like nothing is there. It wasn't painful, but it's a machine that you go under, and they have like a big, like a circular, and that goes 5 times. You have to take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do the radiation, 1 session. Then you go back the next morning, another session. Well, I personally will highly recommend Galenia Hospital because of its good services, friendly staff, the doctors, very caring. Well, I just want to thank them for everything that they have done for me, you know, the staff and the doctor, especially Dr. Jamie, because she was my doctor for the radiation. No?
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
A donation of over $400,000 in digital equipment was handed over to the courts this morning by the U.S. Embassy. As part of an initiative known as the Backlog Reduction Program, the governments of Belize and the United States have been working closely to moderate the number of surfeit cases in the justice system. The bottleneck has long been an issue that continues to plague the function, as well as the prompt and effective delivery of judgments by the courts. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
The backlog of cases before the Supreme Court is described as a perennial issue that ultimately affects the pace at which the justice system grinds. For several years, this concern has been raised by the bar, the bench, and the Attorney General during the ceremonial opening of the legal calendar. Seeking to alleviate the problem, the United States government is sponsoring what is being called a backlog reduction program, and the first order of business was a donation of equipment to the Belize Judiciary.
Indeed, there is no doubt that the criminal justice system is in urgent need of reformation and modernization in order to improve both the quantity and quality of justice that is delivered. Towards this end, I am fully committed to providing the requisite leadership and build upon the foundation laid by my predecessors. In the face of constraints, thankfully, over the years, there have been a number of initiatives by the embassy at the invitation of the government of Belize, which supported the judiciary. More recently, there have been additional efforts by the embassy aimed at contributing to the improvement of the criminal justice system in Belize.
There has been a 42% reduction in unresolved matters before the courts. According to the Registrar of the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal, this was made possible with help from the Commonwealth Secretariat.
Part of what assisted us is in fact the temporary judges that were given to us through the Commonwealth Secretariat. So with their assistance, we have been able to reduce significantly a lot of the criminal matters that are presently before the court.
Chief Justice Louise Blenman reiterated the importance of timely judgments and what they mean to the effective dispensation of justice.
If criminals are not brought to justice in a timely, effective, fair, and efficient manner, persons will lose confidence in the justice system. If this has not to some extent occurred, however, in my view, all is not lost. In order to restore more public confidence in the criminal justice system, both the quality and the quantity of justice must improve in the immediate future. It is critical that litigants are provided with easy access to justice that is fair and efficient, failing which fundamental rights may be impacted.
The partnership between the government of Belize and the U.S. Embassy, where the justice system is concerned, has spanned the past 6 years. Chargé d'Affaires Leila Moses Onesh speaks on the joint effort between both countries.
We have been partnering through INL's auspices with the Belizean judiciary sector since 2016. It's been a long and fruitful partnership. The current program aims to reduce the criminal case backlog through supporting legislative reform and, as the Chief Justice said, the development and enhancement of a case management system that rests on modern digital technologies. The office and computer equipment that we're providing today represents our continued support in addressing processing efficiencies. And this equipment is valued at over $280,000 US, and it represents an investment not only in the courts, but sort of a spiritual investment in swift justice that means so much, as the Chief Justice says, not only for Belizean communities, but for the broader implication in the country's stability and economic prosperity.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.